Followed by Edgardo Villegas, Yoandy Morales in the Miami first as Cephas climbs in. And we are underway in this Sunday finale in Atlanta. Let's take a look at this Miami batting order, which has been held to a .211 average this weekend. Cephas has 3 hits for the weekend. Romero, like you said, the 2 home runs yesterday. And Rosario, Gonzalez, and Wallen round out the 9. With Renzo Gonzalez getting the start at DH as the count levels at 1 on Cephas. Miami came in with its best ACC start since 2008. They've dropped to 16-7, still lead in the Coastal Division as that one flared into center for a leadoff base hit from Cephas.
Chance Huff opted to go off speed. Cephas kind of hits it off the end of the bat. Just flips it out to center field. And this Miami offense starting hot.
You would expect a very locked-in approach from the Hurricanes. As they look to salvage one this weekend, here's Edgardo Villegas. The freshman from Vega Alta, Puerto Rico, 0 for 9 this weekend. As he takes a strike on the outer half. Miami led 5-2 yesterday before the Jackets exploded for 4 runs and held on from there. And this Georgia Tech staff has turned a page against the ACC Coastal leaders. They allowed 30 runs in their series versus North Carolina. Last weekend, they allowed 34 to Duke. Here, only 6 runs combined in games 1 and 2, 5 of them earned. In the air, and routine for Colin Hall, one of the seniors honored before the game. He pulls it in, 1 away.
Andy, you mentioned how good Georgia Tech pitching has been during the series. And if the pitching can be, I don't even know if it has to be as good as it's been this series. If it can be close to it, it's a dangerous team down the stretch. And it's one of those teams, like if you're looking for a team that's maybe outside of the top 25 that can get on a run and make it to Omaha, Georgia Tech pitches consistently down the stretch. They're one of those teams that could do it.
And hoping May will offer better results on the mound. You see Huff throwing a couple of times over to Cephas. That one close, safe the call by Tony Carrilli. Cephas 13 of 16 in stolen bases on the year.
Good snap throw over. Bang, bang play.
1 out for Yoandy Morales. Line shot off the glove of Jenkins. It'll trickle into short right. Nearly had himself the line catch. Instead, they'll be at the corners. On a screamer off the bat of Morales.
That's how fine the line can be in baseball. I mean, that's a double play if Andrew Jenkins is able to catch it. But this ball is hit so hard that it's just a reaction by Jenkins, and it just goes off the edge of the glove. Trickles into the outfield. Cephas makes it to third. Morales at first. Just that close to an inning-ending double play.
That was 101 off the bat for Morales. And 2 ducks on the pond for Maxwell Romero, who brought the big stick yesterday with 2 home runs. 8 on the season for the catcher. As he pops it off the end of the bat, 0-1.
That's 101. That was 101 by Morales off the bat to the opposite field, down the line the opposite way. I mean, that is the definition of solid contact.
And when it's 101, you can get some leather up on it.
Yeah, I mean, the reaction, once you get it off the tip of the glove like that, there's no shot. The glove just won't hold it.
Stroked up the middle for a base hit and an RBI. Romero stays hot. Miami has its 3rd hit of the first, and they lead 1-0. Romero now with a 5th hit of the series. And this is exactly the kind of start Gino DiMari wanted from his offense.
Really seen these Miami hitters not trying to do too much. Flipping the bat head out there on a pitch on the outside corner, kind of like Cephas did to start the game. Not incredibly hard hit, but flips it out to the outfield, and it's effective.
Romero extends his hitting streak to 7 games. Still 2 on for Jacob Burke. And still searching for his first hit of the series. 0 for 9 with 3 strikeouts for the sophomore from St. Francisville, Louisiana. Pops in, 0-2.
Good off-speed pitch from Chance Huff. Spent a lot of fastballs early. And the few off-speeds that he's put over the plate, Miami's been able to muscle him out to the outfield. But I want a good, sharp breaking ball. Gets 0-2.
Couple of look-backs. And it's blocked by Parada. Both runners thought about going. Only Yoandy Morales does, and he advances to third.
That is good aggressive base running by Morales. I mean, that ball doesn't get far from Kevin Parada at all. Kind of gets stuck under him. But you see the ball down, you take off as soon as it goes, take your chances. Miami really trying to put the pressure on Georgia Tech early in this one where they've got to have it.
He expected an aggressive approach from Miami, not just at the plate, but on the base path as well. Only their second series loss in ACC play this year. The other was to Virginia Tech. They dropped the first 2 games to the Hokies. Were able to get the win in Game 3. As Burke tries to build on this 1-run first. Doesn't chase, and the count's even. Already has to please Gino DiMari to see that RBI single from Romero, because Miami was 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position yesterday. Runner in scoring position for Burke. Swing and a miss. Blew by him with a tailing fastball and a big second down for Huff.
It's a really nice pitch. That fastball just off the outside corner. Looked like you're right. It had some run going away from the right-handed hitter. You're able to get to within 1 out of being out of this thing. If you can get out of this thing only giving up 1 run, that's a win for Chance Huff on the mound.
Faces the sophomore Dominic Patelli. 1 for 4 yesterday with a double. And he takes low to start the count. Miami had some cushion atop the Coastal Division when this series began. That has narrowed a bit. Trying to snap a 4-game losing streak today.
If you're going to have a weekend like this, if you're Miami, it's beneficial to have it when the 2 teams that are closest to chasing you are beating each other up in Charlottesville.
Yeah. Well, that has been a thunderous series between Virginia and Virginia Tech. They're playing the deciding 3rd game today.
But you knew it would be. I mean, Virginia's as good as anybody in the country if they can pitch it a little bit. And the Virginia Tech's been as good as anybody in the league all year. And you got after Drew Hackenberg, though, yesterday.
It's not many teams have laid claim to this year. Huff is a Floridian out of Niceville, which is in the Panhandle. Trying to limit the damage in the Hurricane first as he deals the 2-1. Cut on and missed. He got Patelli to chase. Patelli just 3 for his last 28 in ACC play. Also has walked twice this weekend. He was an everyday starter at shortstop as a freshman for the Hurricanes. Here's the 2-2. And we've gone full. One change defensively for Georgia Tech. It is up the middle. Jaden Jackson still at short, but Tim Borden takes over at second. Chandler Simpson is in the lineup. It'll be DHing for the first time this season. Simpson did commit an error yesterday. And the 3-2. Stayed on top of it and stays alive.
Georgia Tech shifting on Patelli now that there's 2 strikes. Jaden Jackson moved almost directly behind the bag at second. Tim Borden sliding much more in the hole over there towards the first base side. Now Jaden Jackson makes his way to the first base side of second base as well.
And they've really shifted with 2 strikes this series versus Patelli. And as he punches one in the left, Gonzalez has it measured. And the inning is done. Miami wraps out 3 hits against Huff, but he holds the Hurricanes to just 1 run. We'll introduce their Georgia Tech lineup after this. A run at the top of the first for the Hurricanes. They give their starter Alejandro Rosario some run support to begin this Sunday. The sophomore from Miami, Florida, who was a freshman All-American a season ago. By perfect game, as you see what he's done this year. He was shelled last weekend versus Pitt, did not get out of the second. And also pitched well in a similar scenario when Miami was at Virginia Tech, trying to avoid a sweep. Held that potent Hokies lineup in check, and will try to do the same to a potent Georgia Tech batting order.
He certainly will, and he's the type of guy you want on a Sunday. Competitive, quick worker. Key for him is establishing that fastball on both sides of the plate. His breaking ball and changeup have really developed as well.
And here's the lineup he will face. It begins with Chandler Simpson, coming off a 4-hit day. Once again at the top, but DHing, followed by Parada, who belted his nation's leading 23rd home run yesterday. Jenkins, the ACC leader in conference play in average runs and hits. Gonzalez follows him. Borden, Compton, Hall, Reed, and Jackson.
This year, there have been so many good hitters in the ACC. Andrew Jenkins is probably the most underrated hitter in the league right now. I mean, a lot of guys get their due because they're the best guy on the team, but when you're hitting behind Kevin Parada, it tends to take some of the shine away from what he's been able to do. But he is a big reason for the success that Parada has had.
Not only Parada, but Chandler Simpson as well. And as he strides in, the UAB transfer, like we said, 4 for 5 yesterday. That included an RBI triple after shaking off a hitless series opener. There's no such thing as a routine ground ball off the bat of Simpson because his speed is somewhere between blazing and blinding, Roddy. Wow. He is a lot of fun to watch.
Yes, he is. Electric when he's on the base paths.
Down the line, fading foul. And Rosario has him behind 0-2.
What an addition he's been to this Georgia Tech lineup. I mean, it's so powerful, but when you have that guy that puts the pressure on you with his legs that Chandler Simpson does, it changes the dynamic.
Rosario misses just low. Spotted that well on 0-2, but Simpson hangs tough. Bouncer to short. Patelli misplays it. Might have lifted his head, trying to get a peek of Simpson charging up the line, and Patelli has a trickle off the leather, and Simpson reaches.
This is what Chandler Simpson does. You put the ball in play, and Patelli knows I'm going to have to make this play on the run, throw it on the run. Hits off the heel of the glove. Simpson gets on first. It's the first batter of the game. Let's see what they ruled at.
It is going to be an error against Patelli. He kind of ate himself up. He didn't commit to going backhand or glove side.
Yeah. I think in order to get him, you'd have had to go glove side. Just got kind of towards the middle of his body. You'd like to field that off to the left.
And here is Kevin Parada. He's been in the conversation all season for ACC Player of the Year. He's made himself a part of the conversation for Golden Spikes Award winner. The sophomore catcher, a nation's leading 23 home runs. He's homered both games of this series as he pelts one foul toward the Tech dugout.
You know, the race that you just talked about, both of the races that you talked about, but ACC Player of the Year in particular, you know, normal year, Kevin Parada would be running away with it, but you look at what Jake Geloff has done, you look at what Jack Hurley's done at Virginia Tech, Gavin Cross. But when you 23 home runs and 19 strikeouts, how can you argue with that, especially for a guy that's hitting over 300, well over 300, almost 400 as well.
He's doing this as an everyday catcher. Trying to fight out of an 0-2 hole, and he goes down swinging. Boy, you don't see that every day. Rosario K's Parada. He's the nation's home run leader. He has more home runs than strikeouts, but he goes down on 3 pitches, and even that gets a smile from Rosario.
Yeah, he knows what he just accomplished and how hard it is. Goes with that two-seam fastball, running inside to Kevin Parada. Just kind of ties him up down at the knees. It's a really good pitch from Rosario.
Brings up Andrew Jenkins. Jenkins hitless in 4 at-bats yesterday, which snapped a 13-game hitting streak. So the Jacket starter who did not have a hit, and this could be 2. 1, 4, 3. Double play. And the Hurricanes get out of 10 runs in 2 games, yet they're staring at an 0-2 series hole. As Huff pumps in strike 1 to the right fielder, Mike Rosario.
And if you're the number 3 team in the nation, you expect it to win every series. But honestly, on the road in the ACC, picking up one of the 3 is a decent series. It's certainly not one where you're going to shake your head and say, hey, look, we failed this weekend.
So you look at Rosario's numbers. Hitting 4 at-bats yesterday. Slaps it to the opposite field. He'll have a hit to begin his day. Takes a hard turn through first. He's headed for second, and he'll slide in with the double. Never broke stride around first. A bit of a bobble out and left by Tres Gonzalez, and Rosario takes advantage.
Gonzalez had to go deep, almost all the way to the corner in left field. It was going to be a long throw no matter what. Just wasn't quite able to get it out of the glove fast enough. You see him grab it. He kind of has to double clutch. Rosario, as you said, never broke stride. I mean, he was being aggressive. Miami's really been aggressive on the base pass early in this game.
Hitting and running with urgency so far. Here's the DH, Renzo Gonzalez. Gonzalez had an infield pinch hit single on Friday. One and one. As Huff still tries to find his stuff. Came out of the bullpen in the 9th inning of Tech's midweek versus Troy Tuesday. Took the loss. And for the first time, not pitching in the Friday night role. Jackets got really solid work from John Medich in his plays. Had a quality start on Friday, and it's amazing what a quality start from your weekend #1 guy can do as far as your bullpen, not having to use too many of your arms earlier in the series. And Georgia Tech has reaped the benefits.
And it just sets the tone for pitching for the weekend, too. Sets a standard, even if it's subconsciously, for the rest of that staff.
Fought off foul by Gonzalez. Medich earned the win, and it's just a remarkable story. John Medich, who was, again, honored as part of Georgia Tech's senior class, he began his collegiate career at D3 Rhodes College in Memphis as a catcher.
Yeah.
He said, I had no intention of pitching in college. He eventually converted to a pitcher at Rhodes. So he goes from a D3 catcher to a Friday night starter in the ACC and earns the win versus the #3 team in the nation as the count's gone even on Gonzalez.
Something that you tell your kids when you're... Actually, you tell it to your kids' friends. They break out your bona fides. I don't want to hear you complain about mowing the lawn. You know what? I started as a catcher.
He's on pitch charting duties for Huff today as he deals the 2-2 to Gonzalez. Off the end of the bat could be trouble, and just past the dive of Compton. A little cue shot down the line. It'll be 2 for him. And Miami takes the 2-0 lead.
Miami hasn't really been smoking the ball consistently. I mean, Rosario was decently hit. The liner that Morales had earlier was probably the hardest hit ball of the game. But they've just missed gloves or been placed perfectly. This one, Compton playing off the line, had a long run to get there, just couldn't. Sneaks into left field. Miami puts another one across.
Already 5 hits. And thanks to the Gonzalez RBI, Rosario comes across. It's 2-0 for the #9 hitter, Henry Wallen. Trying to drop the bunt down, and off the plate foul. And this has been the issue for Chance Huff. He's given up base runners early and not being able to put away guys on 2 strikes. He has had some very solid starts this year. Georgia, Florida State, both at home. Spins it in for strike 2.
Really nice curveball there. 79 miles an hour. Most of the stuff, that fastball's been sitting the low to mid 90s. Everything else has kind of been in the high 80s. That one took a lot off of it.
Can't get a chase from Wallen on the same pitch. 1-2. Wallen, the sophomore, by way of Miami-Dade College. He's walked 3 times this series, still searching for his first hit with the .250 average. And already Miami with as many hits with runners in scoring position today as they had in games 1 and 2. 2 for 4 today. They were 2 of 18 heading into the series. Or heading into today's game. Back-to-back doubles from Rosario and Gonzalez to begin the Miami second. As the 1-2 is tap foul.
It's another good breaking ball. Almost got it past Wallen. I think it would have been a strike had he not Chuck swung at it anyway. Wallen actually a little fortunate there.
Huff does like the back foot breaking ball to the left-handers. Wallen has spoiled off a couple, staying alive at 1 and 2.
Just trying to go up and in with that fastball. A couple of breaking balls that Wallen has seen. Him to swing through a fastball a little bit out of the zone. That one just kind of got away from him upstairs.
And that hits him. Tried to burn one down and in, and it clips Wallen. So a 2-strike hit by pitch. And another base runner for Miami. That's 6 already off Huff.
First baseman number 2, CJ.
Wallen was not eager nor even willing to move out of the way of that one. You're at 2 strikes and it starts to come at you. You just kind of hold your ground and brace for impact. Danny Burrell's going to make his way out to the mound to talk to his pitcher.
You can see the frustration setting in for Huff. He's gotten to 2 strikes. That hasn't been the issue the first time through the order.
And it's kind of, I mean, it's been one of the things, especially lately, as you've gotten into ACC play, finding that strikeout pitch has been tough. 8 strikeouts against Florida State, but you get in the league and there's such good hitting teams, especially the experienced ones that really grind out at bats. And if you don't have that elite pitch with that elite placement, and it can be tough to sort of to find a way to punch guys out.
Back to the top of the order, and Kafis led off the game with a single. Miami entered the weekend 8th in the ACC in average. We also began the weekend 16-5 in the ACC. You've made that 8th best batting average in the league work for you.
And honestly, in most years, you'd say 8th in the ACC in average. Man, what's up with Miami? But like this year, 8th in the ACC in average probably puts you top 50 nationally.
That's still 280.
Right, exactly. You look at the averages in the ACC, you've got 3 teams hitting over 300 as a team. There was not a single team that hit over 300 as a team last year.
Hitting has not been the issue for Kafis this weekend or most any weekend. He's 6th in the ACC in average, 6th in on-base percentage. 4 for 10 for the weekend. He's got 2 on. Sprays it foul, 2-1.
Cavis will want that one back. 2-0 pitch. Even if it's a strike, it's not a. It wasn't one of those pitches you could drive. He took a good swing at it, but just way behind. Fouls it off.
He's reached safely in all but one game this season. Sky high, drifting into foul territory. Compton will run out of real estate. So the count even on Cavis as Huff still searches for his first out of the second. And again, on 2 strikes, we'll see what he dials up. Miami has been very dialed in with their 2-strike approach today.
And the strikeouts that he's gotten have been when he's elevated the fastball on the outer part of the plate. But you got to be able to place it there, because if that fastball is a little bit lower, you can drive it. And if it's a little bit more central, it's easier to keep your hands up and barrel the ball. But elevating the fastball has been the pitch that he has gotten those strikeouts on.
Into left field. Not much carry. Gonzalez squeezes it. First out, both runners stay put. And a nice job by Huff to battle back.
Certainly was. Cavis was under everything that at bat. That fastball was over the plate, but Cavis barrels down. It's just an easy fly ball out to left field.
Villegas flew out his first at bat. Out in front, 0-1.
Beautiful.
Been, probably the best off speed that Huff has thrown so far.
Yeah, it looked like a changeup, and that was masterful. Just pulled the string on it. It's a great pitch.
Trickles between Parada's legs. Both runners go down to second, and they get the tag and the out on Wallen. Just kind of rattled between the feet of Parada. Gonzalez took off for third. Wallen was a little late breaking from first, and Parada flashing the arm to cut him down and get the second out.
Yeah, and you see the smile there. It's an absolute laser from Parada that has Wallen dead to rights, but if you're Wallen at first, if you don't get the exact same jump that Gonzalez does, you got to stay. We saw it earlier with Morales going to third. Romero hung out at first. Miami gives away an out.
Bouncing ball from a knee, Gonzalez, and it trickles through the glove of Jenkins. So Villegas safe, the run scores. It's now 3-0. It's going to be a long throw in the hole from Jaden Jackson. And just a little low as he tried to rush the delivery.
And it looked like he bobbled it from the start. Kind of had to go to the knee. And then it looks like a fieldable ball for Jenkins. No, that's tough. When that ball hits right as it's getting the glove, that's really hard. You get no bounce out of it. You almost got to pull back a little bit to field it. That's probably the toughest ball to field for a first baseman, when it's going to hit the ground right as it hits the glove.
Now 3-0 Hurricanes. It brings up Morales, who takes a cut and comes up empty. They're going to score that an error on Jackson. Yeah, you're right. And we saw in the replay for Jenkins, the best you can kind of do with that ball in his trajectory is just kind of smother it.
Right.
You can't really squeeze it clean when it's coming in at that angle.
No, and I don't know if you get the runner if you do this, but you want to, if you can, kind of pull back so that you can create a bounce, so you can field it off the bounce. That's so hard because you got to make that judgment quick.
Morales pleading that he got hit. Dave Sousey, home plate umpire, doesn't think so. Gina Damari will come down from the third base box. Huff has already hit a batter this inning.
Couldn't quite tell there.
We are going to have a review.
I did see just a little just the slightest of movement from the pant leg on the front leg where Morales pointed.
Little ruffle of the pant leg. Wasn't enough to overturn the call on the field, which was that it did not hit Morales.
And honestly, it's probably the same ruffle of the pant leg that would happen if you went.
I mean, the ball could have been an inch off the fabric, right, but it was just so close that it was gonna ruffle it a bit. And again, even if it doesn't catch a body part, if it does catch a part of your jersey, a sleeve or a pant leg, that still is considered a hit by pitch.
Yeah, and the question is going to be, is the evidence of the pant leg moving slightly indisputable video evidence that it indeed hit him? Because, I mean, from this angle, there's nothing indisputable. There's nothing conclusive from this angle. Watch that front pant leg. It's just under the knee.
And you see that left leg is moving a little bit as the ball is coming in. And might that be what's causing the garment to shake a little bit?
I don't think you can. I think he got hit by the baseball, but I also don't feel like you can overrule the call on the field, which was that he did not get hit. So I would expect this to stand. I don't see how you can put him on first base based on what we've seen.
Do you ever think you'd be spending this much time analyzing fabric and garments on a Sunday afternoon?
Not unless we were going shopping and like Baby Gap or something. I don't know.
You are speaking from a lot of experience with that comment, by the way.
A lot of time in the children's section. Baby Gap a little too expensive for my taste, though. I don't know, man. I don't see how you can put him on first base based on what we've seen.
It's overturned, and they do award Morales the base. It'll be the second hit batter of the inning for Huff.
It's one of those where you're like, it probably grazed you, but not the call on the field.
And the call will be upheld. Just a ball, so the count 1-1, and Morales will stay in the box.
Can't wait till college umpires have to announce that.
You think that's coming eventually?
It has to, right? We've got it everywhere else.
Morales 2 for 10 in the series. Tries to tee off. He falls behind 1-2. Morales, a preseason third-team All-American by collegiate baseball, following a freshman All-American season in which he led the Hurricanes in home runs, doubles, triples, and RBIs. He's rated by Baseball America the #1 ACC prospect in the Major League Baseball draft in 2023. Standing in front of the man who is the #1 ACC MLB draft prospect this year in Kevin Parada, who smothers that offering from Huff to count 2-2.
Parada has more than lived up to the billing that he had coming into the year, and saw him flash the arm a little earlier this inning too.
Just off the corner, and the count's gone full.
That's one of those that's close, and if Parada's set up on the outside corner, you may get that call. But because Parada's set up inside, it's a lot tougher for the umpire to judge, especially when the umpire's set up inside as well.
Villegas will get a head start from first. And the 3-2 is fouled. Morales says he models himself after Fernando Tatis Jr. of the San Diego Padres.
Pretty good guy to model yourself after, especially if you've got that same flair.
Another 3-2 on the way. Morales drew 3 walks yesterday. He also had 2 singles, reached in all 5 plate appearances. This following a hitless Friday night, which snapped a streak of reaching base safely 17 straight. And like last year, among the ACC leaders in base on balls. 2-1. Rosario pitches with good tempo. He works quickly.
Certainly does. And it seems like everything that he throws, it's an easy delivery, and everything that he throws has really nice life to it.
Pays the outside corner to run the count full.
I mean, the fastball's been in the high 90s. That one at 97. But it's not just that. It's got some arm side run to it as well. You can see why he's so highly thought of.
Payoff pitch to Gonzalez is in there. Strike three looking. So a second strikeout for Rosario.
I think Gonzalez just got fooled on that one. This is certainly a strike. And honestly, because of that arm side run, that ball might have started off the plate inside and then tailed back over the plate. And when you're throwing that at 96, that's tough to deal with, especially in your first at bat.
Yeah, you're committed to the take pretty early when it's coming on you 96.
Yeah, and in a first at bat, you're just not sure how much that thing's going to run. You know, like you may think, all right, this will run a little bit, but it'll stay inside, and then it ends up back over the plate. Catch you off guard a little bit, even though he'd just seen a similar pitch. But when it's on the inner half, it looks a little bit different.
One away for Tim Borden, the second. Louisville transfer down in the count 0-2. Borden also had a multi-hit day yesterday. Drove in a run on a hit by pitch. And second on the Jackets with 12 home runs. He goes down swinging on 3 pitches. An impressive start by Rosario. You can't tell us he had an 8 ERA coming in.
No kidding. He's one of those guys that when he's on, I mean, his stuff is explosive. He's been locating that fastball. As I said, it's been sitting 95 to 98. But the other thing, I mean, he, in that at bat, flipped the changeup to Tim Borden too, and that just keeps guys off balance.
Faces Drew Compton with 2 away. By the way, Simpson reached base in the first inning. They initially scored that in error on Patelli. They changed it subsequently to a single for Simpson. So 1 hit allowed by Rosario. And that has been all the damage Georgia Tech has mustered so far.
Man, you think you have a no-hitter going, official scorer changes it, no-hitter going.
That would be something.
Well,
Has that ever happened where a guy would have had a no-hitter, but they retroactively reversed a call on the very first batter you face from an error to a single?
Probably not. And like, you know, having a no-hitter through one, it's something that you do more often than not, I would say. But you just look up, you're like, oh man, it's a hit now. Cool. And I don't have any issue with it being changed to a hit. I mean, Chandler Simpson's flying.
Yeah. He's probably going to beat out that throw from Patelli anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Shift is on 2-1. It misses outside. Think about all the games that have been played in Major League Baseball since like the 1870s.
It has to have happened.
You feel like, yeah.
Although, who would be the official scorer that has the gumption to do that? Like in the 7th or 8th inning? Or even after the game?
I'm talking about the very first batter a pitcher faces. It was called an error initially, then reversed to a hit, but then from that point forward, you don't allow another hit.
It has to have happened at some point.
You think?
Yeah, we need Elias Sports Bureau here.
Paging Elias on a Sunday. Here's the 3-2 to Compton. Pops it high in the air, left field, Villegas. Little late adjustment, snaps it in, retires Compton, and Rosario sets down the Jackets in order. In the second, a sophomore, an impressive first 2 innings, a pat on the chest from Romero, and Miami has the 3-0 lead. Catcher Maxwell Romero Jr. leads off the Miami third as you take a look at Georgia Tech catcher Kevin Parada, who's done a fine job maintaining the legacy of what they call Catcher U at Georgia Tech. And Parada projected by ESPN the 6th pick off the board in July's Major League Draft. Going to follow in the footsteps of Joey Bart, who broke in with the Giants on opening day earlier this year. By the way, Parada, those 23 home runs, tied for third most in the season in Georgia Tech history. He did that yesterday. He's now tied with Jason Varitek.
He will go down as one of the best catchers to ever come through Georgia Tech. The unfortunate thing is as a draft-eligible sophomore, Georgia Tech fans only got to see him for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But Danny Hall certainly grateful for the contributions that he gave during those seasons.
Romero a cut, swing and a miss, behind 0-2.
Although let me not say that. He could still decide to come back.
That is also probably something we have never seen in Major League history.
No kidding. No kidding.
Romero singled his first time through. Huff and Romero, both Vanderbilt transfers, though they never overlapped in Nashville. Missed each other by a season. Romero played last year for the Commodores, native of Miramar, Florida, just north of Coral Gables. Reaching out and missing. And it's a third strikeout for Huff.
Gets a strikeout again on that elevated fastball. Out and away from the left-handed hitter. Romero swings right through it. It's been good pitch for him. He got the strikeout on Burke on a similar pitch earlier, and he's gotten some swings and misses there late in at bats.
Brings up Burke. For his first year in Coral Gables after transferring from Southeastern Louisiana, where he was a collegiate baseball freshman All-American, led the Southland Conference 23 stolen bases last year. I love that Gino DeMari calls him an old-school Miami baseball player, even though it took him the transfer portal to find him.
Yeah.
He knows one when he sees one, though.
Exactly. That guy's a Miami guy. We got to get him here.
Lays off the changeup from Huff, 1-2. Also a 2-time state champion in football as a middle linebacker. You know you're going to get a hard-nosed guy.
Competitive. Those linebackers are a little crazy.
I feel like oftentimes when you see guys who are two-sport stars in high school and now playing Division I baseball, you're more likely to see a wide receiver or a quarterback. The middle linebackers are harder to find.
Yes, they are. Especially for a guy that plays center field. I mean, usually those guys are out there in space running around. Burke, physical in the middle. Gotta love it. I have to imagine nothing's getting past him sideline to sideline.
Oh, yeah. He's one of those Ray Lewis types.
Yeah.
A ball and 2 strikes. As Huff fires in. A topper to short. Jackson, sidearm throw. Nice pick. Jenkins puts the back foot on and completes the out.
Just talked about Jacob Burke's athleticism. Jaden Jackson knows you're going to have to go quick against the center fielder, throws it on the run. And, I mean, you can just see there the difference in the throw when you get a pretty long hop. That one wasn't the longest, but you get a decent hop for Andrew Jenkins. He can time it up and scoop it rather than it hitting right at the glove and tying him up.
2 up, 2 down for Patelli, who sprays it foul. Jaden Jackson didn't move into the starting lineup until midway through this season. Danny Hall trying to find some stability in his infield defense. Jackson has delivered that in spite of the air earlier. Had a terrific diving stop on a line drive with bases loaded, 2 outs in the 8th inning on Friday, which helped cinch the 3-1 Tech win. 2 balls and a strike to Patelli. Patelli 6 home runs on the year, but he had 2 grand slams in the same series versus Duke. Earned himself ACC Player of the Week honors, I would hope.
No kidding. Take a Herculean effort by somebody to beat you out there. And Tech fans a little grumbly at not getting that call. Probably a little up from Chance Huff.
Attacks Patelli with the fastball, 3-2.
What a great pitch. After you miss up and out with the off speed, go down and in with the fastball. I think probably looked like it was 100 miles an hour for Patelli.
Base is empty, 2 away. The payoff from Hov gets him.
Georgia Tech found out. So they're a dangerous team. You're probably going to get all 7 teams in the Coastal make the tournament.
A hard one. Hopper. Wallen is there and retires Hall.
Right field, number 23, Stephen Reed.
Yeah, Virginia Tech was Miami's only other ACC series loss. Georgia Tech, by the way, how good does that sweep of the Hokies look?
Yeah, no kidding.
They opened conference play by sweeping the Hokies in Atlanta.
And you know, it's funny. If you looked at D1 Baseball's projections of who was going to host 2 weeks ago, before Georgia Tech, or before, who did they play last weekend?
Georgia Tech?
No, who did Georgia Tech play last weekend?
Duke.
Yes, thank you. We just talked about that. Why did I brain fart?
It's because he got 3 young kids at home.
Exactly. Before Georgia Tech played Duke last weekend, Georgia Tech was projected to host a regional. A lot of that based on RPI. Dropped the series to Duke, and RPI drops in the mid-20s. You could sweep Miami. You're right back in that conversation. I don't know where the RPI is going to jump to, but likely be, I don't know, certainly top 15, maybe top 10.
You also have a lot of quad 1 wins, and the Jackets have rung up 2 more this weekend. Stephen Reed, the batter, with 1 away. Reed with a double, 2 runs scored yesterday. Comes in hitting .312. Shift is on. 3 infielders to your right. Reed's left. Has to spin out of the way. 3-1. Ground ball, opposite side of the shift. And an easy base hit for Reed. Expectation versus reality. The expectation is Reed was going to pull it. The reality, Reed can go the opposite field as well.
Man, and coaches get sick when this happens. Because the reason that you shift is the hit charts over the course of the season will tell you, all right, he's hit a ground ball to the right side once or twice the entire season. And then it happens to you, and it just feels like a dagger in the heart. But nice job of Stephen Reed beating the shift.
Man aboard for Jaden Jackson, the shortstop, as he looks at strike 1. Now, Jackson was primarily inserted into Danny Hall's starting lineup for his glove, but you look up and he's hitting .300 in ACC play, .279 over the course of the season.
Yeah.
Fisting it into right, over the glove of Capus. Reed runs through second, Hall in for third. He'll get in standing up, and the Jackets have him at the corners. A couple of opposite field knocks have the Jackets in business in the third.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. A couple really good swings, too. This is on the inside part of the plate, and Jaden Jackson just fists it, keeps his hands tight to his body, almost right on that rib cage. Muscles it to the outfield. Stephen Reed has the easy part, motoring around to third base, and now you're setting it up. A really dangerous part of the Georgia Tech lineup.
Simpson, who had the infield single in the first, after 4 hits in 5 at-bats yesterday to raise his average to .438. And a man at third, less than 2 outs. Corner infielders will be on the balls of their feet. Up the middle, dive and knocked down by Patelli. He flips to second to get the force. Reed goes home, though. So the Hurricanes get the second out, but it drives in a run, and the Jackets on the board, 3-1.
Because Stephen Reed's able to score, we got a little bit of a late break because he had to see if that ball was going to be caught by Patelli. Thought Patelli might try and go to the plate as well. But as it is, getting one out, certainly not the worst thing. Excuse me, Wallen would have had to go to the plate.
So fielder's choice for Simpson to make it 3-1. And a runner at first for Parada. He suffered the rare strikeout at the hand of Rosario. Their first at bat. It is just a gaudy number that you have the nation's leader in home runs with more home runs still than strikeouts.
He's hitting 380. He's one of the nation's leader in RBIs. I mean, he legitimately could hit 30 home runs, and this would be a stretch, but could have 100 RBIs this year.
Parada's been hot all season, but you look at what he's done in conference the last 11 games. 9 home runs, a better than 400 average. Also plated the insurance RBI single in the 8th inning on Friday.
And I think that's part of the maturity of Kevin Parada. I mean, catching every day and being able to do that in ACC play, especially late in ACC play, it's something that I had to get used to last year. Remember, he gets off to the torrid start last year, cools off a little bit when you get the really good pitching in the ACC. He's catching every day, and he was still really good in ACC play. Hitting 411 over any stretch. And that's part of the maturation.
Ball gets away from Capus. You joked about Kevin Parada and the projections have him as a consensus top 8, maybe top 6 pick in July's Major League Baseball draft. And Georgia Tech fans ought to enjoy him because he'll only be here for 2 years as a draft-eligible sophomore. Now, remember Jason Varitek back in 1993 was a first-round pick out of Georgia Tech. Couldn't come to terms, though, and returned to Tech in 1994. So there is some precedent. You want to be optimistic if you're a Tech fan.
And we've seen, I mean, look what happened with Kumar Rocker last year. Obviously, he didn't go back to Vanderbilt, couldn't go back to Vanderbilt, but it did not come to terms. So you never know. We might not be seeing the last year of Kevin Parada. Highly unlikely, though. He's going to get paid a lot of money to go play baseball.
Rosario's come back to even the count. 14 stolen bases for Simpson this year.
That two-seam fastball, that arm side fastball with that arm side run down and into Kevin Parada has given him trouble against Rosario.
See if he goes back to it. With one last peek to Simpson. And the pitch. Simpson takes off. Low, throw down. Not in time.
He did go back to that pitch. Ran off the plate inside. Parada took it. It's about as good a throw and as good an operation as you could get from Romero behind the plate. Got quick transition, a good throw down.
He put it right over the bag where you wanted it.
I mean, he couldn't have done any better than that.
It's like we say, you can't kill what you can't catch.
There you go.
And now Simpson in scoring position. And we get a start on the 3-2 as Parada waits. And the pitch. Ooh, watch out. Got him on the helmet. Looks like Parada's okay. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, he was trying to get the slider to get Parada and got away from him big time. Catches Parada right on the helmet. Always scary.
And was able to turn his head just enough where it skimmed off instead of hitting him flush. The hit by pitch brings a second runner aboard. J.P. Arteaga, the Miami pitching coach, will pay a visit to Rosario. Jackets have had 2 hits, 4 base runners. Only 1 run so far in the third. Yesterday they made up a 3-run deficit early to win 7-5. And And hoping this third inning doesn't metastasize on the sophomore Alejandro Rosario.
Zeke Pinkham, the first base coach, taking the opportunity to get rid of all of the different pads and shin guards and elbow guards. And
there are a lot of glamorous aspects to being a first base coach.
Yep.
That would not be one of them, to be the concierge of all the equipment of your base runners.
What would you say the most glamorous part of being the first base coach is?
When there is a walk-off hit and you see your guy coming to first and you are first on the scene for the celebration. How about that? So 2 on, 2 away for Andrew Jenkins, who grounded into a 1-4-3 double play his first time. ACC leader in hits in conference play. Down and in on the fastball.
And to these power hitters, Georgia Tech, Parada, Jenkins in particular, it's been fastballs down and in. You try to get that thing to run off the plate inside.
Jenkins has reached safely 18 straight games. The sophomore from Atlanta. Started his series with a 447-foot home run off of Miami starter Carson Palmquist. It was a tank.
Would have been a home run in 100 of 100 ballparks across the country. I guess it'd be like, what, 290? How many teams are there now? 289, something like that?
I feel like we might have a 7th inning trivia.
Oh, is there a 7th inning trivia with that?
There always is with you. Here's a ball and a strike. High and outside. Well, how about this, Parada? I looked this up after he clobbered his 23rd home run yesterday. He enters the day with more home runs than 41 teams in Division I.
Wow. 293 teams, by the way, playing baseball in Division I. It's up.
You don't even need to get to the 7th page of the home run totals on NCAA.com. And Parada would still be better. He has more home runs than 5 Division I teams from his home state of California. By himself, Parada U.
That's incredible.
Reached on the hit by pitch. Simpson ahead of him at second, 2-2, the count to Jenkins.
And it's not like this park is overly friendly to right-handed hitters either.
No.
I mean, it's certainly not cavernous, but it is definitely not a crackerjack box.
Seems it was twitching off a second. Draws a look from Rosario. Alejandro Rosario, 3 strikeouts, no walks. There's that fastball down and in.
Consistently pounded. Top of this lineup right there. Just tried to mix the slider in as well just to keep him off balance, but the go-to pitch has been the heater down and in.
Just inside. Couldn't coax a chase from Jenkins, and the count's gone full again.
Tried to go to the off-speed with Parada there. Got away from him, hit Parada on the helmet. I don't think he goes there. I think you go back to that fastball.
Jenkins got some clutch 2-out RBIs yesterday in the 7-5 win. 2 on, 2 out. And the 3-2 to Jenkins is swung on and missed. It's 96 at the ankles. And Rosario holds the Jackets to 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left. Rifles in his 4th strikeout. And it's 3-1 Hurricanes through 3. Oh, it's good to see the young baseball players watching some ACC action as we welcome you to McNeese Baseball Park. Andy Demetra, Roddy Jones through 3. As Miami tries to salvage a game in this series, they lead Georgia Tech 3-1. Sent 7, 8, 9 to the plate. A rocky start for Chance Huff. He settled down, worked a 1-2-3 third with 2 strikeouts, and that's kind of what Danny Hall and Danny Burrell want to see out of Huff, who have been struggling his last 2 weekends, just kind of fall into a rhythm. gobble up some innings.
That's
See if that third inning maybe can carry over.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they were hoping for. You know, they don't expect Chance Huff to go out and shut out Miami. Certainly that would be a bonus. But if you can keep them within striking distance over 5, 6, you're right. That third inning, they'd certainly like to see that duplicated.
Needed 65 pitches to get through 3 as he deals ball 1 to Rosario, who led off the second with a double. Junior from Newberry, Florida. Smacks it into right, hangs up for Reed, 1 out.
Designated hitter number 51, Renzo Gonzalez.
It's now 5 in a row sent down by Huff.
Love to see the quick first out. And that ball lifted a little bit, but was never going to trouble Stephen Reed out there in right.
Gonzalez had a dribbler double down the third base line. Came around and scored, in addition to getting the RBI in the second. He pinch hit both games of the series, getting the start today. Miami at 31-12, but they dropped 4 straight. They fell in their series finale last Sunday to Pittsburgh. Dropped a midweek contest to Stetson 12-4. And then down no games to 2 in this series to Tech.
Every team over the course of a season, even the number 3 team in the country, every team other than Tennessee over the course of a season, even the number 3 team in the country is going to go on a stretch where you lose a few in a row. What you don't want to do is certainly get swept and let it go over multiple weeks, but stuff like that can happen, again, unless you're the Volunteers.
Even they're playing a rubber match today at home versus Auburn.
They are. Their second rubber match of the year.
Did he go? He did. On the appeal to third, Brian Miller brings up Gonzalez for the second out.
Let's take a look.
I feel like you will judge this replay differently if you're a pitcher by trade or a hitter.
Yeah. I am a hitter by trade, or was once upon a time. Long time ago. And I judge it as he would.
Henry Wallen, first pitch swing and tags it into right. A no-doubter by Wallen. He gets the run back. Miami leads it 4-1. And that's Wallen's first home run of the season.
From that swing, you certainly would not have thought that was his first home run. What a beautiful swing that he took.
Miami came in 12th in the ACC in home runs as a team. Tech, meanwhile, had allowed the most home runs in the league. As Huff twirls the 0-2. Capus spoils it off. Capus 4 hits in the series. Smashed and picked. Compton on the in-between hop. And the reflexes at the hot corner takes care of Capus, but Wallen's solo homer gives Miami the 3-run lead again. 4-6-0 for the Hurricanes, 1-3-1 for the Yellow Jackets as we move to the bottom of the 4th. Ramping up the series today at McNeese Baseball Park. What an emotional day it was yesterday. If you couldn't join us, Georgia Tech having its ALS Awareness Day in honor of former Yellow Jacket Jim Poole, who's been battling ALS. Gave an address before the game. Got a standing ovation here. He gave out shirts with Jim Poole's number 21 from his Georgia Tech days on it. Former Major League veteran. Georgia Tech was able to give him the win by a score of 7-5. as Gonzalez starts things for the Jackets.
It's just a really cool emotional moment. That coming the weekend after. Virginia Tech and Boston College played up at Fenway Park in a game that honored Pete Frates.
As Gonzalez rolls out, one away. Well,
Second baseman, number 8, Tim.
ALS is something that Gino DeMari knows intimately. Both his parents have had to deal with ALS. So the moment and the cause not lost on Miami's fourth-year head coach.
Yeah, and it's so tied with that disease. Unfortunately, so tied with baseball because of Lou Gehrig. So it's always a cool cause for baseball teams and organizations to get behind.
And Coach Morris was Jim Poole's head coach at Georgia Tech.
Sure was.
He was in the building yesterday. Down low to Borden, who struck out swinging his first time. Walk-up song, Small Town USA, his hometown, Sellersburg, Indiana, about 15 minutes north of Louisville, where he began his career. Can I crack open the time capsule on you?
Absolutely, would love that.
What was your walk-up song?
Oh, man. So it was, one point it was Mr. Jones, obviously. Another point it was, you can run, but you can't hide. You never got Mr. Jones. What was that song? Was that called Mr. Jones, too?
I think so.
Mr. Jones by
Jones?
Counting Crows, and then, yeah, I guess Mr. Jones by Counting Crows. Those were assigned to me.
Oh, you didn't have a choice in the matter.
Ones that I chose were like, you know, Top Back by T.I., stuff like that.
How many walk-up songs did you have?
Multiple. When I was here?
Yeah.
So when I was here, I think it was Kid Cudi, actually. Kid Cudi was in at the time. That was over the course of my career.
Okay.
You just got the whole dictionary.
I got the whole catalog.
Yeah, the whole catalog.
Borden chasing, down on strikes. Rosario's really tied up these right-handers.
It's mainly been with when he's been able to locate the fastball down and in. I mean, it's just such a hard pitch because you can't lay off of it. But it's tailing inside, diving a little bit as well, and it's 95 miles an hour. So righties have really had a tough time.
Two up, two down. Here's Compton, the switch hitter. He turns on one, unloads it to right field, and just past the diving glove of Rosario. Has to fish it out from the base of the wall. Compton in turbo mode, headed for third, and the throw is not in time. Drew Compton with his first triple of the year. Nearly had himself a home run, though.
As well as he hit this ball, he didn't get all of it. Down the line to right field, Rosario gave a nice effort. It's actually a really good relay by Miami to even make it close, and Morales at third base probably saves a run. Watch how he's able to snag this and at least knock it down.
How about the recovery by Rosario after laying out? Yeah. Just to spring back to his feet, not lose sight of the ball, and trigger that relay.
Rosario's got a cannon out there in right field.
Showed it there. And Compton at third, two away for Colin Hall. An RBI single with 2 outs yesterday. Rounded out to second his first at-bat versus Rosario. All honored in Senior Day festivities before the game. Checked his swing, did not go. Tech has one more home game this year. They welcome in Georgia Southern on Tuesday, but Tech opting for its Senior Day ceremonies in its home ACC finale.
Just the way it worked out on the road, it seems like the entire month of May.
Yeah, they wrap up at Clemson, at Pitt in conference. And they also go up to Ohio for a pair of weekend road games in the MAC. As the count moves to 1-2 on Hall. Rosario trying to dance around the Compton triple with 2 outs. In tight. He wanted that inside corner. Dave Sousey saw it otherwise.
You can hear the groan from the Miami faithful. And I think there's the right call behind the plate by Dave Sousey.
Ooh, hits him on the back. Second time Rosario has hit a batter. Wanted to work inside again, but didn't want it that inside.
Both time with 2 strikes. He absolutely was trying to ramp up on that one. What was that sign from Colin Hall?
Looks like me after I've eaten greasy foods.
I was gonna say, like, it's me after I was eating those Chili's baby back ribs the other day.
Now 2 on with 2 out for Reed. Singled against the shift his first time. Has to dip the hips. He takes inside.
By the way, those ribs are not as good as I remembered as a kid.
Now somebody just lost an endorsement.
Look, they make better ribs. Fox Brothers, on the other hand.
You drive a hard bargain.
Hey, look, I got standards. You gotta make good ribs.
Reed 362. You want a segue?
Sure.
Stephen Reed is looking for a rib.
A rib.
Maybe a couple of ribs. He's got them at the corners.
Okay, I see what you did there.
He's got a hitter's count 2-0.
Lefties have had the most success against Rosario, it seems like. And when he hasn't been able to locate that fastball against righties, that's where he's gotten in trouble. Located that one.
Reed was sitting on fastball but couldn't catch up to Rosario's heat. Let's work the count even.
That's the thing when you're a right-handed hitter, you got a right-handed pitcher who's not only throwing hard, but he's got arm side run to his fastball. He's burying it down and in. It is just so hard to get the barrel down to it and be able to hit it squarely without fouling it off.
Inside, 3-2. Do you expect Rosario to pound it inside one more time, even though he's shown that throughout this at-bat?
Well, he's tried to flip the slider a couple of times on 3-2. I think if I'm him, yes, you're going fastball again, just because that's the pitch that you've got the best feel for at this point. And it is almost certainly going to be inside.
Compton to third, Hall at first, and the 3-2 to Reed is swung on and topped foul.
He went with the slider.
And just wrapped around on it.
If you want a quick tip at home, it seemed like anytime Romero jumps inside as Rosario's going to the plate, it's fastball outside. It's going to be off speed.
Just inside. Reed lays off and the base is loaded. So after Rosario set down the first 2 Jackets, Compton to triple. Hall hit by a pitch. Reed walks. Loaded for Jaden Jackson, the 9-hole hitter. And then has a couple of Miami relievers shuffle into the bullpen.
Relievers are going quickly, and it's only if this thing gets out of hand for Rosario. If he gets it out here quickly, I think you're almost certainly going to see him a little bit longer. 68 pitches so far. And for the most part, Andy, he's looked in control. He's gotten up to 93 pitches this year. Down of Wanye Thomas, too.
Yeah, former Yellow Jacket who signed an undrafted free agent deal yesterday with the Dallas Cowboys. Ooh, a high throw, but Jenkins has time to recover. 1-3, down goes Villegas.
Congratulations to all the Yellow Jackets and all the players, all the Hurricanes that got drafted and signed free agent contracts.
Third baseman number 35, Yohani Morales.
I believe Miami had 1 draft selection, if I'm not mistaken. Georgia Tech 1 as well.
Base is empty for Morales. He will be a future draft pick. A single and a strikeout as he looks at his strike on the outer half from Huff.
You were doing baseball Friday and Saturday, but you locked in on Thursday? You're a big draft guy?
I can't say I am.
Yeah. Takes a crazy person to sit down there and watch it. Especially when there's basketball on, too.
It's become quite a spectacle now.
Yes, yeah. I was going to ask you, the follow-up to that was going to be to judge the attire.
Yeah.
And to ask you if you think Yoandy Morales or Kevin Parada, two guys that are going to hear their names called very early, Parada this year, Morales next year, if you think they'll go full on the fashion of the baseball draft.
I think you only get one chance. May as well go all out as Morales swings through the 2-1. And I like now that the Major League Draft is over All-Star Weekend. They pushed it back to July. You no longer have that hovering over these players as they go into their postseasons. It just creates such an unnecessary burden on them in what's already a pressure-packed month.
And I think the shortening of the draft.
Morales getting the bat head down on that breaking ball from Huff. He's got a 2-hit day.
It's a good piece of hitting by Morales. I mean, that ball is, I don't know, at his shins when he hits it. And off the plate outside. He still is able to get it up the middle. It's great bat control.
Man, they call Yo-Yo is 2 for 3. And a runner on for Romero. Got the Miami scoring started with the RBI in the first.
I was saying that the shortening of the baseball draft, I think we're really seeing, we saw it last year, but this year and going forward, I think we're really seeing the impacts that that's having on college baseball, particularly at the plate. I mean, there's so many teams in this league and in others that are just so incredibly experienced up and down the lineup because these guys that would have been, you know, from round even 18 on, maybe even earlier than that, are deciding to come back or not getting drafted at all. So it's been great for college baseball.
A ball to strike to Romero. Cranks it down the line, hooking, foul. Romero had 2 home runs last night. Put a charge into that one from his fellow Vanderbilt transfer, Chance Huff, but he has to trudge back behind 1 and 2. Yeah, and a lot of people are wondering, why has scoring shot up this year in college baseball? And I think it's just the cumulative effect of the last 2 years of the Major League Draft. You have more talent that's staying in college baseball.
I think that is a massive factor. I agree.
And that ball is a no-doubter by Romero. Didn't miss this one. A 2-run shot. And it's 6-1 Hurricanes. And Romero has his 3rd home run in the last 2 days.
He flirted with the home run on the first one that he fouled out of bounds. He finally asked her out on Sunday on the second one. Absolutely crushes this one. Fastball inner half, and again, right after it left the bat, you knew that Miami was going to be extending its lead.
So Romero 2 for 3, a home run, 3 RBIs. Or golfs this into shallow left. Gonzalez calls off Jackson, makes the grab, 2 away. Maxwell Romero, his last 9 games coming in, have been hitting .393, 9 RBIs. Those numbers continuing to tick upward. And that's an encouraging sign for a Miami team that doesn't necessarily lean on the long ball. So 6-1 Hurricanes. Here's Patelli. And this after Georgia Tech loaded the bases with 2 outs, but the force ended the inning. Patelli hitless in 2 plate appearances. 1-1. Tally 1 for 9 on the series. As that 1-1 breaks in.
As we sit here in the top of the 5th, Chance Huff's pitch count up in 90. I would guess this is the last we'll see of him. I don't know if Danny Hall would run him out for another inning with that many pitches.
Drops a hammer on Patelli, records the strikeout, but 2 more runs across for the Hurricanes, and it came on one big swing. Maxwell Ramiro has been swinging big this weekend. 6-1 Miami. Miami, bottom of the 5th. Boy, you got the Georgia Tech Hawaiian shirt. You got the straw hat. That is some top-tier fashion on a Sunday afternoon, Roddy Jones.
It's fantastic. You get that from your closet? Had to have, right?
That is not from the Andy Demetra collection, I regret to inform you. That was actually the giveaway on Friday, the Georgia Tech Aloha in Atlanta shirt. Top of the Georgia Tech order due up. Rosario has stranded 5 Tech base runners over the last 2 innings. And now pitching with a 5-run lead, 6-1 after the Romero homer. Simpson singled his first time up, got an RBI and a fielder's choice in the 3rd. And he works ahead 2-0. He was Conference USA All-Freshman at UAB last season. He hit .288 for the Blazers, but see how that average has jumped for the Jackets. Diving stop, knocked down by Wallen. Can he recover? No. Boy, Wallen made that a lot closer of a play than most second basemen would have. We'll see if that prompts a review from Coach Damari. For now, it stands as an infield single from Simpson.
Well, C.J. Capus, the first baseman, was pretty convinced that they'd gotten Chandler Simpson. And Gino Damari doesn't look all that interested. And oh, there, we're going to get a review. Take a look. I think he's safe.
I think it was instantaneous. And this is the second time Miami has asked a review, so they're out now for the remainder of the game. And Wallen laying out at the cutout. And considering he didn't trap that in his glove cleanly, just the transfer and the throw to make it as close as it was. It's a heck of an effort.
Yeah, and I certainly don't think it is conclusive by any means that he was out. See if we can time it up. Foot's on the bag there. It looks like the ball's in the glove, but and we're going frame by frame basically, and you can't really tell. So.
I've been wrong before, but I would say that's a tie goes to the runner scenario, don't you?
I absolutely would.
The call on the field again was safe.
And because the call on the field's safe, this is one of those where, you know, you take one look at it, you see that shot, and you move on. This is, you know, I love replay and just about everything. The fact that we can get stuff right. And you see the signal that Miami's out of challenges. I love that we can get things right, but that's one of those where it's like, all right, for the entirety of the time they've been playing baseball throughout history, that call stands as safe. You take one look at it, and if it's not obvious, you're moving on. Like, let's go. Let's move on.
I said that was a pretty efficient review, so a runner aboard for Parada. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, struck out swinging against Rosario in the 1st. And he takes it to knees, 0-1. Parada's homered down 4 straight games. He not only leads the nation in home runs, but there was a stretch this year, Roddy, where he had gone homerless in 10 straight games.
You know, it's funny, the ACC got so enamored with Tommy White and his home run hitting prowess early in the season. You know, what Kevin Parada did through a large chunk of the season, I think, was overlooked. Now people are starting to realize, oh, wait, man, this guy is absolutely on fire.
Bounces it off the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. And Parada with that homer in the first yesterday, now tied for 3rd. And single-season home runs at Tech, 2 away from Anthony Maizano's record, which has stood for going on 30-plus years. And Parada now tied with the man he replaced at Tech, and Cal McCann. Just outside.
Crazy thing about that graphic is Kevin Parada was only alive when one of those records were set.
He's a young blood.
And for them to have stood that long, it's incredible.
Reaches out and punches it into right. Simpson turns on the Jets on to 3rd with a slide. And the ball gets away. Parada caught in a rundown. Nobody's covering first, though. Simpson bolting for home. Here's the throw. He is cut down. So Parada was caught in the rundown. Nobody was covering at first, but the redirected the throw home gets Simpson down. No run across, 1 away, and it's still 6-1.
There is a lot that Miami did right in that situation. And Danny Hall is going to challenge the play at the plate, saying that the tag was never applied.
I think it was.
I think that's what he was saying. But there's a lot that Miami.
And just the awareness by Wallen, and remember, he came awfully close to retiring Simpson on that infield single to begin the inning.
Yeah.
But just to have the alertness to square his shoulders toward home, get that throw on target up the 3rd base line to Romero in time to get the tag on Simpson. 2 really good defensive plays by Wallen in this inning already.
Yeah, it was. I think I was saying it was Kafis, but you're right. It was Wallen.
Wallen on top of getting his first home run of the season earlier in this game.
If you're wondering defensively how that works, I mean, the right fielder Rosario starts it all by making just a great throw. Hits the cutoff man, Patelli, who then goes to second. And the reason there's no one covering first is because the pitcher, Rosario, is either backing up 3rd or home, anticipating the throw there. The catcher, who would normally be involved in that as well, is sitting at home. So Georgia Tech actually had a situation where they were going to be fine. It's a good job of Miami getting out of that with an out.
Tech hoping that Simpson may not have run them out of a big inning as the count's gone full on Jenkins with Parada at first, and the pitch grounded weakly to short. They try to go for the force, and they get it. Patelli with a side saddle throw, and on target to Wallen.
What a play by Patelli. You got to field that. You're running in. You're kind of throwing it. What'd you call it?
Side saddle.
Side saddle, yeah. Yeah, like underhand twisting, sort of backwards, sidearm. And then you got to do it accurately, so. Great job by Patelli.
2 away now for Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2.
Rosario is approaching his high in pitches for the year. 93, an appearance at Duke. That one he went 6 innings. There he is in the bottom of the 5th. 84 pitches so far.
Gonzalez checks his swing, takes on the outside corner, 0-2. And he deals a strike to Mike Rosario, who's 1 for 2 with the double.
Getting a lot of 7, 8, 9s up first in these innings. It's taken a lot for me not to go why is 6 afraid of 7.
Oh boy. That's also how you know you have 3 young kids.
Yeah, I know. That and singing the Encanto soundtrack constantly. That's the telltale signs.
Well, you get a 3-hour oasis from that, partner. Glad to have you in the booth. The appeal to third. Rosario didn't go around. And he's ahead on Hill 2-1. Miami held to a 2.11 average in games 1 and 2. They've thumped out 6 runs on 8 hits. And Rosario ahead 3-1. It's interesting. Hits are only 8-7 in favor of Miami, but they've got the 5-run lead.
The home runs have certainly helped Miami. Excuse me, the home run. Multiple home runs.
Rosario did go, according to Dave Sousey. We've gone full.
But they've also had timely hits, too. I mean, strung them together. Georgia Tech has not been able to land that decisive blow.
That's low for ball 4. We should note Georgia Tech has one other reliever available today, Jackson Finley, who suffered a season-ending arm injury late February of last year versus North Carolina State, is available, and they're hoping that they can incorporate him at some point today. God, they were expecting to count down heavily in a bullpen role this year. Gonzalez flashing bunt, has to low bridge.
Really athletic play by Kevin Parada to get up there and snag that one. Danny Burrell is going to take a quick jog to the mound.
Danny Burrell's bullpen has done really good work this weekend, which has not always been something Yellow Jackets could say. 9 1/3. They've only allowed 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. And a big reason why they're sitting 2 games to none on the number 3 Hurricanes.
Another reason, I mean, it hasn't just been the bullpen. It was the bullpen big time yesterday. But another reason is, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, John Medich on Friday, getting 6 innings so that you're not having to tax that bullpen and you can use 2 pitchers, Dawson Brown and Zach Maxwell, in relief, is big.
Toward the line, Borden. 1 away. Nice bounce back by Hill for the first out.
Second baseman, number 16.
Yeah, and not only had Georgia Tech not gotten extended innings from its number 1 starter, and they got to dip into their bullpen, and it throws your bullpen options into some disarray for games 2 and 3. But in a lot of those situations, they had to call upon Zach Maxwell for extended work, where he's throwing 40, 50 pitches on Friday night. And they can't use him for the rest of the series because they had gotten a quality start from Medich and because they had gotten solid middle relief yesterday. Maxwell has appeared in both games and gotten the saves against the Hurricanes.
Yeah, and if Chance Huff had come out on Friday and had the start that he had today, you know, he probably gets pulled a lot earlier than he did today because the Friday night pitching in this league is so good that you can't have a 5-run deficit.
Yep.
Whereas you have that on Sunday and you're looking for extended innings. The pitching, you know, bullpens are taxed. Starters typically aren't as good, although Rosario's been really good today. And you feel like this offense can get you 5 runs at almost any point. And they've had opportunities.
Mullins' home run, his last at bat, his first of the year. He stares at strike 2. Now strike 3. He goes down for the second out.
First baseman, number 2, C.J. Capus.
And it's Sam Crawford, the left-hander, warming up. He's wearing number 11 today through an inning of scoreless relief yesterday. Back to the top of the order in Capus. In the 6th, 6-1 Miami. Runner in motion, Parada bobbles on the transfer. So Rosario swipes a base and gets in scoring position. Now we're seeing some firsts. Wallen had his first home run of the season. That was Rosario's first stolen base of the year.
It was a bad pitch to throw on for Kevin Parada anyway. away from that throwing arm. He's having to glove it, bring the glove up to the hand, make the transfer. Not sure he'd have gotten Rosario anyway. Got a pretty good jump.
A ball to strike to Kafis. Here outside. And even though Rosario had no stolen bases this year, Gino DeMari wanting a runner in scoring position because Kafis has been outstanding this year. 500 with runners in scoring position. Also 6th in the ACC overall in on-base percentage. Followed his first inning single with a fly out and a ground out. Dips in, 2-2.
Cameron Hill has been able to spin that breaking ball. He's done a nice job flipping it over for strikes.
Fisted, out to short, and a leaping grab by Jackson. Showing off the vert. Takes care of Kafis, takes care of the Hurricanes, despite the leadoff walk in the 6th. Alejandro Rosario's day is done, and the bullpen gate swings open for Miami with J.P. Gates, a junior from Brooksville, Florida. Last appeared in the midweek versus Stetson, allowed a hit and a run in an inning of work. Let's take a look at his numbers on the season across 12 appearances.
Popped out yesterday for a brief appearance too. 2/3 of an inning to end the game. Pretty good against the Jackets. 4 pitches thrown. That's all it took for those 2/3 of an inning.
Miami's bullpen was good yesterday. They've been good most of the year. They'll face Compton, followed by Hall and Reed in the Tech 6th. And Georgia Tech trailing by 5, but they've had some opportunities. They've stranded 7 over the last 3 innings. Compton tripled with 2 outs in the 4th. His first triple of the season. Turned back around to the right side. Into the gap in right center. Burke sprinting over, laying out, and making the diving catch. Miami has brought the gloves to the park today, Roddy.
Yes, they have. Best thing about this for Jacob Burke is what he does early on. As soon as the ball's hit, he gets a great jump, tracks it, decides early that it's going to be at least a leaner, maybe a diver, and ends up a little dive at the end in a web gym. We still have web gyms? Can we still call them that?
There's Colin Hall. Even if you don't, still, it's part of the vernacular.
Yeah, I mean,
you
it's
know?
one of those things. Do you think the players on the field know what a web gym is, so they get that reference?
Gosh, I would hope. But you know what? A lot of these guys were born in the 2000s.
When did that go away? When did Baseball Tonight stop becoming a thing?
You tell me. You're the ESPN guy. You're looking at me for.
I don't know. I can't remember, to be honest with you. Probably around the time Monday Night Countdown. Not Countdown. What was the prime time? NFL prime time.
Oh, was hit by a pitch in the 4th. He's 0 for 1. Wraps it foul, wide of first. They shift the infield down with 2 strikes for the left-handed hitting Hall. Yesterday delivered his 200th career hit at Tech.
What an achievement for a guy that's really battled over the course of his career. Carrying the Hall last name, and I think he's put together a career that Danny would be proud no matter what, but that Coach Hall is certainly proud of what Colin has done and meant to this team, and it's battled some injuries. He's turned himself into a really good player for the Jackets, really steady presence.
Ooh, gets hit again. He was hit almost in that same spot on 2 strikes by Rosario in his last at-bat. The ball is just finding him. It had to be emotional for Danny Hall, too. We'll take a look again.
Right
on that shoulder.
But the reason I was laughing is Romero behind the plate is talking to Colin Hall as he's like taking off the elbow pad and the shin guard. And then Romero's the one that tossed the shin guard. He's like, let me help you with that. Toss him over. Sorry that we're plunking you today.
And that will be it for Gates. 2 batters and his appearance done. Right-hander coming in out of the Hurricane bullpen. 6-1 Miami. We're back after this. Stephen Reed, the batter, will face the right-hander Alex McFarland, who appeared for an inning of relief yesterday, surrendered a hit but no runs. And here it's a runner at first, 1 away. You take a glance at his numbers. That's a first pitch pop-up from Reed. It'll hang up high. Romero gets called off. K-Fis, 2 away.
That's the way to do it for the big right-hander. Come in 1 pitch, 1 out. He is a guy that scouts certainly have their eye on. It's been reported that he can ramp it up in the high 90s, touch 99 in the fall.
Two down for Jackson. Left base is loaded with a force out back in the 4th. Also singled in the 3rd. Since he moved into the starting lineup, you see the average 286 is plenty healthy on its own, but 313 since moving into the starting role. No balls, 2 strikes. As McFarland tries to deny another opportunity for the Jackets.
Started Jackson off with a couple of breaking balls, and then comes that fastball, 96. Couldn't quite get it on the inside part of the plate. I would be surprised with how these Miami pitchers have pitched. See that fastball buried down and into the right-hander.
Another 0-2. Got him. Pulled the string on the off speed. And McFarland turns away the Jackets. 6-1 Miami on to the 7th in Atlanta. And to Demetri Roddy Jones, who moved to the 7th at McNeese Baseball Park. Good to see the sunshine visiting us. Miami is led throughout. And 6-1, the Hurricanes lead it as we go to the 7th. Trying to head back to Coral Gables with 1 win in the series. Now 16-7 in the ACC. Georgia Tech 12-11. Go back to work for a 2nd inning of relief. Villegas to lead off.
So we can get off to a little better start than last inning.
Socked into right. Base hit more for Villegas. And Villegas slides into 2nd with a leadoff double. Had to wait until the 7th inning of Game 3, but Villegas has his first hit of the series. He had been 0 for 12.
And he hammered this one. He earned it. Fastball on the inside part of the plate, drills it into right, and that is going to be the last batter of the game for Cameron Hill.
Now comes head coach Danny Hall. Now you're down 5 runs, but with this explosive Georgia Tech offense, you never quite feel like you're out of it. Wanted to limit the damage, but a promising start for the Hurricanes. We'll tell you about the new Georgia Tech pitcher after this. the freshman Aiden Vinatieri will try to tame the heart of the Miami order. The right-hander from Connecticut has spent some time in the weekend rotation, has settled into a reliever role for Danny Hall.
Yeah, and I think it's been a nice change for him since he's moved to that reliever role. He's been able to be used in a couple of different roles in there. And, I mean, he's one of the top arms, was one of the top arms coming out of high school. I think eventually he's going to work his way back into the rotation for Danny Hall, but he's done a nice job out of the bullpen for the most part.
Faces Yoandy Morales and his 8 home runs, .320 average. He's 2 for 3. Miami has not been cheated today. 9 hits, 5 for extra bases, 3 doubles, 2 home runs. Morales' hits are both singles. He's kind of been the outlier. Takes outside, 2-1. Spins away. Morales was teammates up in the Cape last year with Georgia Tech left fielder Tres Gonzalez. They played for Wareham. Always cool when you can see former teammates in the Cape cross paths in the ACC. You can see that almost every weekend, quite frankly.
Yeah, seriously.
Sitting on 3-1. Hits this a ton. Into left center. Hall on his horse. And he runs out of glove. Villegas had to wait for it to drop. The relay throw is offline, and there won't be a throw home. A double by Morales to make it 7-1.
Well, absolutely tattooed by Yoandy Morales. Colin Hall had a pretty good beat on it, but it's too hard to get back to that one. That's how close he got. I don't know. I think if it's in the field of play, you probably get a dive and maybe get a glove on it, but you're not doing that, obviously, going into the wall. Tough play for the center fielder. Miami puts another one on the board.
And you have Maxwell Romero's got the hottest bat of the Hurricanes this weekend. You know, and Villegas had to wait to see that ball would not be caught.
Right.
And the relay from Gonzalez was kind of offline. And it wasn't able to be fielded cleanly, and you wonder, had that been more accurate, may there have been a play at the plate on Villegas simply because he had such a late start from second. And
not only did he have to wait, but he was anticipating tagging if Colin Hall caught that ball, so he was hanging out right near second base.
Villegas 2-run homer his last time. And Danny Hall, I think, will have a left-hander up against him. One batter cameo for Vinatieri. Sam Crawford, the left-hander, had been warming for the Jackets. We'll see if he gets the call to face Romero. As it's now 7-1 Hurricanes. And it's Crawford who will get the call. Give you his numbers, including a note on his uniform number. After this. Sam Crawford was part of that outstanding bullpen effort yesterday, and the senior left-hander gets the call again. Crawford allowed 1 hit and a walk, but no runs across an inning yesterday. A junior, but he did participate in senior day ceremonies for Tech. A 5.8 ERA across 16 appearances, and this is pretty cool. He normally wears number 36, Roddy. He switched to number 11 for his senior day in honor of his great-grandfather, Pat Crawford, who won a World Series with the Cardinals and pitched for them back in the late 20s and early 30s.
How cool is that? It's awesome for him to do. Very cool for Georgia Tech.
Said he was inspired to get into baseball from his great-grandfather, learning about what he did. He was a position player with the Cardinals. Sam Crawford will toe the rubber. There's Pat Crawford. Look at the reach.
Awesome. Yeah, I would assume that he had a nickname back in the day of some sort. Like everybody, I feel like, had a nickname back then.
Tries to snap off a curveball and stays high to Romero. You asked, and indeed he did. Because according to the Society for American Baseball Research, he was nicknamed Peppery Pat.
Oh, man, I was going to go pounding Pat Crawford, but Peppery Pat, I like that too.
For his feisty demeanor. Sprayed foul by Romero.
Oh, Peppery Pat Crawford, see? You bring back the
I'll tell you what, that Peppery Pat Crawford, he is quite that Spitfire. On there, the diamond for the Cardinals.
Perfect.
His great grandson deals the 1-1, and it misses away to Romero.
You know, if he pitches well today, he might wear 11 for the rest of the season. You know how superstitious these guys can be.
Well, no doubt.
Maxwell Romero has been just fine in number 4 all weekend long.
He has not needed any kind of good luck to produce those numbers. 7-game hitting streak for the catcher as he looks at strike 2. And again, Crawford, somebody whose story has been well told over his Georgia Tech career. Initially enrolled at Georgia Tech just as a regular undergraduate. Couldn't shake the baseball bug. He tried out, got cut, came back, made the team. And now a reliable arm in Danny Hall's bullpen. A look back in the 2-2. And we've gone full.
On the other side, you've got Maxwell Romero, who I think if you were to design a catcher in the lab, certainly the lower half of Maxwell Romero would be part of it. Maybe the rest of them, too, with the power he's been hitting with. But this is a guy that is built sturdily from the bottom up.
Time called. He can use that lower half to generate some power, as we've seen this series. We saw it in the 5th with the 2-run homer. Now 9 on the season. Overtaken Morales for the team home run lead. Checks his swing. And it was a foul tip, strike 3. Well, that could have gone any number of directions, but Romero, with some hard luck, he strikes out.
Very hard luck because it was a check swing, although I'm not sure he didn't go anyway. Foul tip into the glove of Parada and a one-way ticket back to the dugout.
It was going to be ball 4. And the check swing that could have gone either way, but just nicked the bat and glove by Parada for the first out. It brings up Jacob Burke, and they will intentionally walk him. Want to get a left on left with Patelli due up, but a double play is a possibility.
Patelli 0 for 3 on the day as well. A couple strikeouts, so.
Well, you know, it's a situational thing because Burke is 0 for 12 for the series, but he hits the intentional pass. And it brings up Patelli, who's 0 for 3. Patelli, sophomore, Miami native. Has a brother who plays at Miami-Dade College. Can't catch up. 89 and sinking from Crawford. It's 0-2.
It's a big swing, too, from the left-handed hitter. Sam Crawford's so tough on lefties because of that sinking action on that fastball.
A little late by Patelli. He was able to make contact, though. Patelli did have a double yesterday. Four doubles, 2 home runs for Miami today off Georgia Tech pitching. Crawford also aerospace engineering, his major at Georgia Tech.
Comes from a lineage of athletes, worked his way onto the baseball team, showed the persistence to come back even after he got cut in. Oh, by the way, he's an aerospace engineering major. Some guys have it all, Indy.
Deals outside. Patelli's even the count. And when you do all that, you have earned the hyphen in student athlete.
Yes,
Make no mistake. So Patelli's worked the count even. Morales at second, Burke at first. A run already in the Miami seventh.
Aerospace engineering, and that's one of those. That's a serious major right there. I mean, that's a major. I like all that stuff you guys are doing up there in central New York.
Oh, please. Another one fought off foul. There are a lot of XY coordinates that Crawford is intimately familiar with, both in the lab and on the mound, as he tries to turn away a pesky Patelli. Intentionally walked Burke to get to him. And the 2-2 frames it on the outside corner. And Patelli knew he got fooled. 2 away.
Not sure you could have placed this any better with a dart.
Right fielder number 13,
Sam Crawford. Right on the outside corner, right at the knees, at the right time.
2 away for another left-hander in Rosario, who's doubled and walked. Got jammed, pops this on the infield. Jackson. Whoa, had to stretch back. Somebody talking in your ear, perhaps?
There is no one talking in my ear. I wish they would talk a little bit more.
And a looping liner falls for Chandler Simpson. He knows the kind of arm Rosario possesses, so he'll put on the brakes. But Simpson, following a 4-hit Saturday, has a 3-hit Sunday.
It's 1977, right? There's no way that's right.
1977, okay. We'll reveal the answer after the first out.
Okay.
So Chandler Simpson with that single has given you some time to reconsider.
You know, it's interesting because number 0 is actually a very coveted number now on the gridiron, both in the college ranks and in the NFL.
There's Parada, 1 for 2. There's a ball 1 inside. Now Romero and Parada, the catchers in this series, they've been swinging the alloy well. Romero 3 homers, Parada 2. Took a cut there, 1-1. Yeah, college football now, that's as sought after a number now.
Yeah.
It's only been in circulation for, 2 years?
A few years, yeah.
Asking for the first year that a major league player wore the number 0.
I don't know. I feel like it might be earlier because we were just talking about Sam Crawford's great-grandfather in the 20s. I feel like somebody in the 20s might have done it, you know?
Your initial answer was 1977.
My secondary answer is 1926.
Yeah, the 1970s were a weird time.
I know.
Wouldn't be out of place.
No.
Here's the 2-1. Parada splashes it foul.
Just thinking somebody named like bootlegger Bill Stewart might have done it in the roaring 20s. They pulled him off the street because they were short. They were short a right fielder.
And the dirt skips into Romero. Yeah, it had to get called up because somebody cut their thumb cutting onions or something, you know. Yeah.
Bob the Butcher down the street who normally plays catcher.
I like how we've created a whole backstory for this fictitious player.
So he had to wear number 0 because that's all he could draw on there accurately.
Simpson at first. Parada waits on the 3-2. And here it comes. Ooh, almost hits him. He'll take his base instead. A single and a walk as Georgia Tech seeks to put a rally together in the 7th.
For Georgia Tech, 6-run deficit, the number of opportunities dwindling quickly. I think this is one of those situations where you got to come away with multiple runs. Now that you got 2 on, nobody out.
Brings up Andrew Jenkins, the ACC hits leader, still searching for his first hit of the day. Fielder's choice, strikeout, and a 1-4-3 double play. Tech still with 1 run, not for lack of opportunities. They've left 8 on. Rip and a miss. Andrew Jenkins doesn't wear number 0. He does, but he also has a 1 in there as well. Plays first base. Has the facial hair, the reddish long hair. Hits the ball a ton. Other than that, I can't see any other comparison to Justin Turner of the Dodgers. Gets away from Romero. Both runners move up a base. Simpson scoots to third. Parada behind him at second.
It's one of those situations where Kevin Parada, who's behind Simpson, knew as soon as that ball started to get away that Simpson was going to try and take third. So he got a really good jump taking second.
Also evens the count at 1. It drops in. Fastball at 96.
He's got some power arms now. Saw Rosario to start it off up in the high 90s.
Wind also starting to pick up a little for everybody. Favoring center and left. Here's the stretch and the 1-2. Strike 3 rings him up on the outside corner. Out number 1. Jenkins goes down looking. And let's see if Roddy Jones goes down looking. You said 1977, the first year a major league player wore number 0.
Oh, man.
See, that's why I was asking if somebody was maybe feeding you an answer or a clue in your ear. It was Al Oliver of the Rangers after he got traded.
I wish someone was feeding me information.
You know what? You didn't get the answer, but you get my respect, Roddy.
I appreciate
well
that.
done.
Thank you.
Know,
Thank you. Thank you.
Only off by a year. Here's Tres Gonzalez. So he looks at ball 1 low, and a lot of people mistakenly thought Oliver, when he was traded to the Rangers, asked for number 0 because his last name starts with an O. He said, actually, no, I just wanted a fresh start. Trade signified a new beginning.
There you go.
What better way to do it than number 0? Gonzalez singled his last time up. Nearly got away again.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
There was no way in anything I was going to get it without just like a complete shot in the dark guess. I'm actually disappointed it wasn't, bootlegging Bill in the 20s.
Now it was simply Al Oliver back in 1978. Oh, off by a year, Roddy.
I know.
That is a fly ball that was caught at the base of the wall.
That's a Hail Mary that comes down in a guy's arms and then he drops it.
Infield plays back. Here's the 2-0. Off the middle, no, knocked down. And McFarland throws on to first to get the out. Boy, that ball was rocketing right back toward him. Just a reflexive play to knock it down. He still managed to get the out. You wonder if he's okay. Run comes in at 7-2. Man alive. That was smoked.
Unbelievable. Kind of hits him. Looks like it got him off the arm. Right arm. Great job to make.
He's failed to reach in 3 at-bats. Chopped foul.
Way in front and over the top of that one.
Jackets close ACC play, consecutive road series, Clemson and Pittsburgh. Miami heads to Tallahassee to face Florida State, then closes things up with Notre Dame at home. A wave and a miss, and Borden falls behind.
We were having the conversation earlier about the ACC as a whole and what the ACC tournament's going to be. And if things hold, you're going to have all 7 teams out of the Coastal make it. A couple teams out of the Atlantic that won't. Boston College and Clemson look to be the ones that will be left out.
I know Clemson is trying to make a case for an at-large berth, but boy, you gotta be invited to your conference tournament.
That's not going to happen.
They're trying to. I never said they would.
Yeah,
making a push.
The league could legitimately get, I don't know, 11 seems like a stretch.
Unless North load aboard and 3-2.
Sorry, unless North Carolina gets hot, 11 seems like a stretch. But the league could legitimately get 10 in if Duke continues to play well.
I saw what they did last year, ripping off 12 in a row and won the ACC tournament, so nobody's ever really out of it. Count's gone full to Borden, Parada at third. And the pitch from Zeal. Drops low. Zeal got ahead of Borden, just couldn't get strike 3 on him. And the inning continues. At the corners for a heavy hitter in the 6-hole, and Drew Compton. He tripled off the wall and right back in the 4th.
Ball that he didn't even get all of. I mean, hit it well, but there was more in that one.
And 3 home runs, including a grand slam last weekend versus Duke. Leader to short, and Patelli runs it over unassisted. So the Jackets score 1, they strand a couple. Down 5 with bases loaded, 2 outs against the fireballer Zach Maxwell. A stinging line drive, this one a weak ground ball, fielded by Borden over the bag, and retires Gutierrez. Now Gutierrez stung one, but Jaden Jackson made a diving catch out at short to retire the side and snuff out the Miami rally.
I think Kevin Parada tripped on a bat as he was going down the line to back it up. He's laughing it off, but it's hard enough being a catcher. Then it's hard enough being a catcher backing up first base, make your way down the line. Then you got to dodge obstacles like baseball bats.
You know what will help solve that? Have 3 young kids like you. You become an expert in dancing and dodging around objects on the floor.
You become impervious to pain. Like Legos don't even matter anymore. Feet can walk on glass at this point.
You now know what Kevin Parada feels as a catcher. One away, Ariel Garcia will replace Henry Wallen. He looks at a strike from Crawford. Wallen's day done. Hit his first career home run in the 4th. Also, sort of slick glove at second. Garcia, the native of Homestead, Florida. 23 at-bats this year. A lunging swing. He sends it out of play. Watch out. Hitting .217 on the year. Hammers it into left, off the wall. Garcia was thinking too. He'll scurry back. A single, but it was with some smoke.
It's as hard as you can hit a single, I think. That was off the wall before Tris Gonzalez had a chance to move. Tris did a nice job of getting the relay in too, so probably hit it a little less hard. It might have been a double.
No kidding. Top of the order in Kafis. Kafis jams one into center field. Hall, well read. He has patrolled center field probably since he was knee high. The coach's son squeezes it for out number 2.
Left fielder number 45, Edgardo Villegas.
He was knee high. He's only got one more time doing it here at Rush Chandler. McNeese Baseball Park, excuse me.
Full name is McNeese Baseball Park at Rush Chandler Stadium.
There you go.
And the Jackets close out their home schedule on Tuesday versus Georgia Southern, another team that is bidding to host a regional. Now, they dropped their first 2 games of their Sun Belt series to Coastal Carolina. That may put it in some haziness right now, but that'll be a big midweek matchup.
That conference, I mean, Wofford's certainly going to make a regional, whether or not they win the tournament. But Mercer, Georgia Southern, both have opportunities to make it as well.
Oh, the depth of talent in state of Georgia teams this year is as good as it's been in a long time.
Certainly has. I mean, the University of Georgia, I know Tech fans don't want to hear this. It's a really good baseball team that's in line to host right now.
Georgia took 2 of 3 from them. High pop, fading into foul territory. Compton makes the catch over the shoulder and above the cap bill. A hard single off the wall by Garcia, but not much. Hit hard off of Crawford in the Miami 8th. Still 7-2.
20s.
7-11-0 for the Hurricanes. 2-8-1 for the Jackets. Series finale in Atlanta. Georgia Tech assured of the series win. You know, that win they had yesterday, Roddy, snapped a 6-game losing streak in the middle games of ACC series.
Wow.
It's been an enigma. They got great work out of the bullpen. They made up a 3-run deficit with a 4-run fourth yesterday, trying to make up a 6-run hole here. 7-8-9 due up. And it begins with Colin Hall. Yet to see Andrew Walters, Miami closer, one of the nation's leaders, and certainly Gino DiMare would rather they not see him.
I'm surprised that he's not getting work right now, to be honest with you, just to pitch this weekend. Get some work.
And didn't have an opportunity to throw him Friday or Saturday. As much as you'd like to build some rhythm and routine in your relievers, that is a guy that surely the Hurricanes will be counting on a lot over the next month plus.
Yeah.
A 1-2. Hall swings and misses. Chasing low and out of the zone. 1 away. And for Miami, they had an All-American closer last year, a first-teamer in Carson Palmquist. They transitioned him to a starting spot this year as we look at the out pitch from Zeal. And that was an unknown for Miami. Who would take over for Palmquist on the back end of the bullpen? And not only that, could he come anywhere close to the numbers that Palmquist posted last season? And Walters has been up to the task and more. Here's Reed.
Talk about what Walters has done. Right-handed batter's only 1 hit all year off of him. He's been fantastic. He's probably, well, not. If there were a reliever of the year award in the ACC, almost certainly win it. The pitcher of the year, I think, is maybe pretty well sewn up by this point too.
Mm-hmm.
Nationally, obviously, stopper of the year, but I have to dig through the memory banks of everybody in the country.
Some of the numbers that teams like Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech and Wake Forest and Louisville put up this year, it hasn't been an enviable season to be a pitcher, but that doesn't mean that the pitching has necessarily been down. A ball and 2 strikes still to Reed. Rips it up the middle. Sat back on Zeal, and Stephen Reed now has a multi-hit day.
Stephen Reed, such a powerful hitter that he can get himself in trouble taking those big swings, a lot of swing and miss in him. I think today especially, he's done a really nice job of staying within himself, hitting the ball hard, not trying to hit it out of the ballpark, and he's really gotten better at that over the course of the season.
You have an 8-hole hitter who's got 9 home runs in Reed.
And has the power to hit 20, honestly. But the concern, especially early in the season, was the swing and miss and the strikeouts. He's gotten that batting average up to 318. He's really cut down a lot of stuff. Pitch selection's been a lot better. And obviously has the power.
Swing and a miss from Jackson to even the count. Jack is just 200 as a team with runners on today, 3 of 15. Compare that to yesterday when they were 333 with runners on in that 7-5 win. Miami trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Bounced off the plate. Jackson goes to 2-2. This Georgia Tech team was entering the series trying to avoid a 4-game losing streak and feeling some pressure. It lost 12-8 in a midweek game to Troy. Got things straightened out yesterday. The opener on Friday. Now it's Miami, the team that's starting to feel it. And like you had said earlier, every team, even if you're number 3 in the country, you go through fallow stretches in your schedule. It's all about how you manage it and not letting one failure become 2 and 3.
Exactly.
So Miami won't win the series, but to show some resolve on this Sunday is certainly something you can take back to Coral Gables. And a swing and a miss cuts down Jackson for out number 2.
There also was a caveat to my say every team other than Tennessee. Tennessee is. They're not invincible, but
here's the thing, man. Tennessee, barring something really funky happening, they'll enter the NCAA tournament the #1 overall seed. Miami is still, I believe, the last #1 national seed to win a College World Series back in 2000.
Yeah.
It may not necessarily be a good thing for the Volunteers. As Chandler Simpson, who had 4 hits yesterday, is looking for a 4th hit of the day. He elevated into left. He won't have that chance. Big catch by Villegas. Jackets go down scoreless. 1 hit, 1 left. 8 complete, 7-2 Hurricanes. Andy Demetrio, Roddy Jones, who moved to the 9th, and Jackson Finley will get his season debut for the Yellow Jackets. Special moment for the right-hander who suffered a season-ending arm injury late February of last season versus North Carolina State. Guy who's got a lot of heat and was figuring to factor into Danny Hall's bullpen. A long road back, and now it concludes with him getting the appearance here in the 9th.
Yeah, great moment. Two-way player for the Jackets has been during his career, but due to that arm injury, obviously severely limited on both sides. But now gets the opportunity to get back on the mound in a game. First time in a long time. Cool, very special moment.
Underwent Tommy John surgery, so his first appearance since February 27th of 2021 versus NC State. In that game, he gave a glimpse of his potential. His first year with the program then. Through 3 innings, allowed 1 hit, no runs. He struck out 7 Wolfpack hitters. And Danny Hall had been counting down the days to see number 12 on the mound. They'll face Morales, Romero, and Burke. So back after missing 14 months and right into the thick of the Miami order. And it begins with Morales, who had an RBI double in the 7th. Trying to build on a 3-hit day. Into the gap in right center, and he'll slice down for extra bases. Yoandy Morales, just a strikeout, his blemish. He's got a 4-hit day.
4-hit day, couple doubles, couple singles. Drove in a run, scored a run. And a rude welcome back for Jackson Finley from Yoandy Morales.
Fastball at 94, but Morales, one of the better hitters in this league. Romero a 3 RBI day that included the 2-run shot in the 5th. And they get to pop up into the high sky. Called off. Compton got a barrel roll out of Parada to duck out of the way, but he makes the catch across the chalk.
Sniper got Kevin
No
Parada.
doubt.
He was just trying to get out of the way. Compton made that call a little bit late.
This is the
Watch
point in the
Parada.
bank robbery where they say everybody to the floor.
Everybody down. I'm catching this one.
One away for Burke. See if Burke can leave Atlanta with a hit. Sophomore from St. Francisville, Louisiana. Currently 0 for 12. Which had been a surprise because he entered the weekend with 3 hits in 3 of his previous 5 games. A scuffling here, but still a .325 hitter, and he's ahead on Finley 2-0. I don't know what the mindset is of a pitcher who's making his first appearance since recovering from Tommy John surgery. But that first pitch, Morales drills it for a double. Is it the same way that a boxer, all right, I got that first punch, I feel it now. Now we can settle down.
I think so. You know, there's so much anticipation that goes into that first pitch. You're probably thinking, let's throw a strike, and then guy drills it on you. You're like, okay, that was maybe too good a strike. But it takes some of the relief off. I'm not going to be perfect today. Let's just go out and throw.
Regardless of how this 9th shakes out, Danny Hall has to leave the weekend feeling a lot more encouraged by what he's seen from his arms. Not just his starters, but the bullpen as well. It's a 3-1 count on Burke. It's a wrapped into left, a base hit. Morales getting windmilled through third. Throw will be cut off, and Miami makes it 8-2. Burke has his first hit of the weekend, and it goes for an RBI.
Wondered if he would get it, and he sure does. On the ground, through the hole. Morales scores easily from second base. Miami extends its lead.
Vitale the hitter. And Dom Vitale is the only Hurricane starter still without a hit today. 3 strikeouts and a flyout.
Kevin Parada getting the business end of that foul ball. That foul tip.
Over but high, 1-1. You feel like the hockey masks have fallen out of favor with catchers?
Yeah, it has. That's a good point. It's gone back to the helmet with the mask. I don't know why the hockey mask fell out of favor, though. Why do you think that is?
No idea. Just an observation. I don't know if it's true or not. I just feel like you and I have seen a lot of baseball games this spring, and I can't recall too many players going with the hockey-style mask.
Can't think of a single one. Maybe it's because of the technology now. A lot of these catchers are wearing earpieces. Not as compatible.
Yeah, could be true.
Nobody was wearing the traditional catcher's mask when I was playing. I mean, everybody had a hockey mask. I caught for a few years. That's all I could ask my dad for.
Another 1-2. In the air, straightaway center, Hall. Ranges back, reels it in, 2 away. I just feel like you don't see as many of them in the major league level either.
And maybe that's part of the reason why, you know, that why it's we don't see it at the college level. At some point, it's really switched. I'm trying to think of when. I I don't know. You know, in the early teens, 2010, 2011, 2012, felt like it was still in style. And, you know, the guys like Buster Posey who wore them, those guys are exiting out of the majors now.
Yeah. Finley with a throw to first, Chase Burke back. Mike Rosario, the hitter.
I feel like Yadier Molina is a hockey mask guy, right?
I think you're right. One ball, one strike to Rosario. Transfer from St. John's River State. Doubled and scored a run in the second. Season debut for Jackson Finley after recovering from Tommy John surgery. Those Tommy John surgeries and the rehab that ensues. As the runner takes off, is in for a strike throw by Paradas over the bag, but not in time. As grueling as the physical rehab is from Tommy John, and I know that the surgery has gotten more sophisticated. Guys are able to bounce back better than ever before. It's no longer a career ender or a career threatener even. But just the mental aspect of the rehab is so unchanged. It's still so tough. Off the end of the bat, is able to punch it through for a base hit. And Rosario has an RBI. It's a second run in the Miami ninth.
Hands inside the baseball, just drilling it to the third base side through the hole. Miami adds to their lead once again.
And out comes Danny Hall. Now Jackson Finley, sometimes you got to just get the first one out of the way. Allows a couple of runs. He'll come off. New Georgia Tech pitcher, we'll tell you about him after this. Georgia Tech looking for one final out, and they'll turn to one of their guys honored on Senior Day, junior Cort Rodig, the Orlando, Florida native. Yeah, now one but two relievers, aerospace engineering majors. We saw the other one earlier, and Sam Crawford, as Rodig makes his 8th appearance on the season, and what might be his final time on the home mound at McNeese Baseball Park. He'll deal with Gutierrez.
Rodig and Sam Crawford did a cool video in the wind tunnel here at Georgia Tech not too long ago. Started talking about a lot of stuff that I had no idea what they were saying.
Just all sounded like pops and buzzes in Roddy Jones's head.
Mm-hmm. Womp, 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 womp.
Gutierrez grounded out his first time. And he's behind 2-0. Rodig had worked his way into the weekend rotation his freshman year, had a sports hernia surgery, and that's just a tough injury to kind of come out of and regain your form. Lays one in, 2-1. Well, Miami has scored in 6 of its 9 innings today. No one big inning, but they've kind of pecked away at the Jackies at the tune of 9 runs, 14 hits.
Had some big flies, though.
That they have. Miami off to its best ACC start since 2008 when they went to the College World Series. Trying to snap that 4-game losing streak, and Gutierrez milks the walk with 2 outs. And Gino DeMari was looking for better efficiency in run-scoring situations. He said yesterday that Georgia Tech got more hits when they mattered than we did. Today, his club 5 of 14, 357 with runners in scoring position.
Hitting's been timely and I mean, you kind of mentioned it. It's just been a steady press of Georgia Tech. No real gaudy numbers, but you get a few in every inning, just about every inning, and you look up at the end and you've chalked up 9 across home plate.
Garcia's single was off the wall in left field. Came back in the 8th. And this one is more than a single. It's a high fly, and it is out of here. 3-run homer to pad Miami's lead in the 9th. In the series, 2-1, but always better to get back on that plane with a smile. As they've hung 6 on the Jackets in the 9th batter of the inning, and it's Villegas. It was Kempis' 5th home run of the season.
Not sure how many of them have been ones that were doubters off the bat. That one certainly was not.
3-1. And this is Jacoby Long pinching for Villegas, beg your pardon. Sophomore came on as a pinch runner on Friday. He'll be on base with the walk.
Third baseman, number 35, Yohandy Morales.
It's 5 straight base runners that have reached for Miami with 2 outs. And back to the man who started the inning with the opposite field double, Yohandy Morales. Morales has a chance for a 5th hit. 4 for 5 with 2 doubles. Corrado will pay Carwile a visit as he sailed a couple, following the home run and the walk. And Danny Burrell will want to make a visit as well.
Just want to make sure that Carwile isn't a little rattled by that first pitch bombski that was hit by Kempis. You can imagine at this point, I mean, he's not a freshman anymore. He's pitched so much. I mean, your experience, just want to calm your pitcher down a little bit.
And look, he's a guy that in a regional situation could easily be, if you're playing a 4th or a 5th game of a regional, yeah, he could be the guy that will be your starter.
Probably would have to be.
Still off the mark, 3-0. And so obviously the game's not in doubt, but these are still important if you're Carwile and if you're Danny Burrell. Morales waits on the 3-1. Spun in, strike 2.
Good breaking ball.
Miami had 15 hits combined at games 1 and 2. The Hurricanes now have 16 this Sunday, with Morales contributing 4 of them. And he'll take his base on the walk. Another Miami pinch hitter due up as Carlos Perez announces himself. He'll bat for Romero. Had himself another fine day and a fine series. That fastball just sailing away on the arm side from Carwile.
Feels like everything's high into the arm side after that first pitch.
And it's 2-0.
There's nobody up in the Tech bullpen, so feels like this is Cody Carwile's for the rest of the way.
A high fly, not much carry. Wind will give it a push, but Gonzalez pulls it in. So Miami hangs 6 in the 9th. And they'll take an 11-run lead into the bottom half. A pair of Miami home runs, part of a 6-run top of the 9th. Hurricanes lead 13-2 going into the bottom of the 9th. Hurricanes shaking off a slow bat in games 1 and 2. 372, batting .400 with runners in scoring position. Jackets still without a hit with a man in scoring position. And a new pitcher for the Hurricanes. It is a non-save situation, but this is a guy that you see often in the 9th in Coral Gables. That's their star closer, Andrew Walters, getting some work.
Guy with a .38 ERA. You're talking about 1 hit for right-handed hitters over the course of the season. 47 strikeouts, only 4 walks. Only run of the season given up against Pitt. You just see all the superlatives, but explosive fastball, high spin rate, really gets up on hitters quick. Breaking ball has really improved. So
you said 1 hit allowed to a right-hander all season?
All season.
Well, he faces the ACC's top 2 leaders in hits, Parada and Jenkins. And Parada, as we've said, nation's leader in home runs. So who says there can't be some theater in an 11-run game in the 9th? Parada's reached 3 times, a single, a hit by pitch, and a walk. You cannot say pitcher or hitter aren't totally locked in, because certainly Walters knows Parada's numbers and Parada knows Walters' numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lays off 1-1. Parada up to 74 RBIs on the season. Can't catch up to 98, tailing away. A ball and 2 strikes.
You can just see the way the ball jumps out of Walters' hands.
And a swing and a miss gets Parada. 1 down.
Kevin Parada's 2nd strikeout of the game. You mentioned early on it doesn't happen very much. That fastball, high 90s outside corner, Parada swings right through it.
Even rarer than Kevin Parada striking out is a multi-strikeout game. Somebody who had 23 home runs, 19 strikeouts entering the day. Brings up Jenkins. It's still silly, though. And somebody who's sitting atop the nation in home runs has more homers than strikeouts.
The fact that it's even close, like even if he had 2 more strikeouts and home runs.
Well, it is Parada's 5th multi-strikeout game of the year, so he has done that before. Last came in their middle game at North Carolina, April 16th. But still a rare sight. In for a strike to Jenkins, 1-2. Jenkins 382, but he's hitless today.
He looks like he's rested and was excited to get the call in the 9th.
And Jenkins gets mowed down as well.
Just so tough on right-handed hitters. He's got fastball. I mean, it's, I don't know, is it hard, but it's so straight. You have that high spin rate. It kind of feels like it's elevating as it's coming because it's not declining at the plane that you're expecting.
Now, if this is your first introduction to Andrew Walters, those 2 batters, you can understand why the ERA is below .4. 2 away, Gonzalez the batter. Gonzalez has one of Tech's 2 RBIs today. Another was from Chandler Simpson. Miami pitchers have allowed 6 free passes, 4 walks, 2 hit batters, yet none of those players who reached have scored.
It's one of the big things in the game, and every time Georgia Tech's been close and had an opportunity, Miami's been able to figure out a way to get out of it. Not too much damage.
Popped foul, 2-1. Miami will move to 17-7, still the best record in the league. Georgia Tech will fall to 12-12. But a series win over the number 3 team in the nation to add to their resume as the calendars officially flip to May. Morales gives chase out of play, and it's 2-2. Walters trying to strike out the side and finish off the Sunday for the Hurricanes. Lets it fly, and the 2-2 is fought off. Miami is off during the midweek. They have their out-of-conference weekend series Friday through Sunday in Coral Gables. They take on North Dakota State. There might be a little bit of a cultural adjustment for North Dakota State going down to Coral Gables, don't you think?
You think?
Georgia Tech back for its home finale Tuesday versus Georgia Southern. 2-2 again. Just misses outside. Perez, by the way, catching for Romero. Garcia's over at second base. Jacoby Long is taken over in center for Burke. Yeah, they will not be in Fargo anymore, Roddy Jones, next Friday.
Well, I'm sure Fargo's beautiful this time of year.
Poking down the line and hit well by Gonzalez. Short hops the wall. He will speed into second with a stand-up double.
How about that? Tres Gonzalez.
One last crack for Georgia Tech to get a hit with a runner in scoring position. Like we said, 0 for 7 today. But only one hit allowed to a right-hander all season by Walters. Inside 1-0.
There's not many things in baseball that are more rare than a Kevin Parada multi-strikeout game. But Andrew Walters giving up a hit to a right-handed hitter is indeed that.
He checks Gonzalez and fires to Borden. Oh, it sails over the glove of Perez. Ricochets right back to him. Throws down to third, but Gonzalez is in safe. There's not a lot of room between home and the backstop at McNeese Baseball Park, and that took a perfect hop off the brick to Perez. He slung it down to third, but a good jump by Gonzalez to give himself a base. Watch it again.
It's an incredibly athletic play by Perez. Fields it on the fly and then throws on the run. Makes it close at third base.
Swing and a miss, 2-1. Miami had won the last 2 series against Georgia Tech. Only their second series loss of the season. Trying to close out the Sunday with the win. High to Borden, 3-1. Also rare to see Walters walk a batter. See what he dials up on 3-1 to Borden. Swung on and it's popped up. Foul territory. Kafis maneuvering towards the Miami dugout. Reaches back, pulls it in, falling down. So Miami takes